Good morning. How's your breath doing? If you got this far, you must have some of the skills I'm demonstrating. Meditation, familiarity with music that is not contained in the boxes of popular forms. Although when I do droney things like that, I'm always sort of riffing on the basic idea of Brian Eno's Music for Airports, the first track. Part of what makes it so beautiful is that its melody structure is highly based on the harmonic stack. Where unless you start in subsonic below the bass tones, it's beyond the squeak range to get anything like a straight major or minor scale, although you get the 1-3-5. I think it goes 1-5-3. I'm still learning the harmonic stack. I started getting more aware of it practicing on the flute. which I have packed away right now. The winter was savage on my musical instruments this year. I guess video is the way musicians, astrologers, and magi reach our audience these days. If all we do is write, then we keep our audience tight and secret. Swift changes. Yeah, I mean, I started my musical training with the fancy music of a bygone age, and I never lost my taste for that stuff. So fuck off, AI. Humans still need space to fly, with unaugmented skills in singers, drummers, and strummers, and horn blowers. Chiron in Aries, that's one of the alignments that says younger side of Gen X on it. Earlier Gen X had Chiron in Pisces. Chiron in Aries is basically the 70s. Until 77 when Chiron entered Taurus. Chiron in Aries. Yeah, here I am talkie blah blah in the local lingo, or at least my version of it. While my hands and breath pretty much conduct themselves, wise creature, highly trained and trustworthy. Chinese martial arts. I'm not interested in martial arts as competitive fighting. That's the thing about Tai Chi, Bagua, Xing Yi. Gives me the general skills to diffuse fights while keeping my physical temple as free of chronic tension as I can get it at any given time, and most of me is habitually now relaxed and lively. It's one of the side effects of developing depth of breath and banging on one's body, but not to the extent that it causes damage, like in the mixed martial arts and boxing and football, where all those guys get brain damage. I mean, this is the foundation, Yasod, Shaddai Al-Chai, the Almighty. I guess it's not just the Chinese martial arts. About the time Chiron entered Aries, I got word of this system of human energy matrix. You could call it psychology, but to me psychology is a baby step towards Aquarius, but it's still in the Pisces fish tank. Same thing with original Golden Dawn magic, whose rituals are highly trained in my own inner kingdom, but they're developed beyond anything those old English people had. Again, they were looking at Aquarius through the Pisces fish tank. Nevertheless, I think we're foolish to throw away the wisdom of dead white guys. 'Cause even though they were seeing Aquarius through the Pisces fish tank, they were beginning to get to the surface where the birds of Aquarius could hunt and transmute the fish into the air. Still connected to the water, but also connected to the mountain, the island, the land, Aquarius between Capricorn and Pisces. I'm just improvising this. It's the thing to do for me right now. Because if I fuss about the details too much, I just keep fussing around with the details and never do anything. I do declare it's primarily my heart and things behind and underneath, and maybe even my, well, when I say heart, I'm including the energy field of consciousness and our core identity. Without the heart's energy field, we could not sense our bodies clearly enough to do anything in the material realm whatsoever. Nerve signals are too slow to conduct the show. If I attempt to control this sort of thing with my intellect, as soon as I put that idea into the scenery, I drop one. This is not the only brain in the body. There's one here. Well, and this one goes from the top to the poopy bottom. It's infused with neural things all through the gut tube. And the heart math, they're a group of scientists that measured things that yogis and magi and such have been indicating for an age and forever, the perennial science. The perennial science is perennial human stuff. Chopping it up into religion, science, and art is not the best we can do. Let's put it that way. When Pisces is the front of the age, then the Virgo scientist comes off like Galileo. Oh, lock him up. Just swim with the school of fish. If you stick your head up, you'll get cut down. Enter Aquarius, where when Pisces is 1, Aquarius is 12. What is 12? 12 is the out-of-body time, the out-of-local scenery time, the out-of-physical awareness time. It's the place where the sun is perched on the horizon, which, if it's not cloudy or obscured in your Earth location, is an automatic. Well, if you have the stillness inside to take that kind of thing in, associations traditional of the 12th house include asylums, jails, hospitals, and monasteries. Lo and behold, as the age changed from Aries on the front when the Roman Empire was its brutal self out in the open, Aquarius was in the 11 then, and the Magi were still out and working and writing all of those books, some of which weren't found until the bombs went off in 45. Nag Hammadi, Qumran, words I've learned about from my religious studies. Gemini moon, Gemini south node, Gemini, 9th house. I started out a book nerd, and my dragon head leading me to 3rd house Sagittarius is go for a walk in your neighborhood and find the signs of the galaxy therein. It's all about tuning the inner kingdom of the human. Outsourcing all of your visualization powers to the machinery separates you from doing the disciplines whereby it requires no faith to believe in energy or the reality of things like the heart's energy field. If the materialists are right about how the head brain dominates the whole body, I couldn't be doing I'm not doing this. My heart is doing this. I swear it to be true. I'm intruding upon it a little bit, but I'm not interfering with my intellect. Even observing it slows it down and makes it more prone to dropping things. I didn't consciously decide to change direction, but I noticed it happen. Well, I've got this metal ball next to my forebrain. That's the part of our brains that gets savagely twisted and too far open if we don't train our disciplines well. Belly breath is part of it. If you don't breathe with depth and power, then your head is deprived of oxygen, and that is one of the supports for not having this part of your brain working very well. And if this part of one's brain is not working well, it's not having an easy time sensing the heart. And it controls the hands savagely from the top. Like I started out like this. I'm not like, no, I started out like that. I didn't start out like this. Having the basic, I mean, my heart conducts this. I'm minimally, it was doing this before I really, I mean, I noticed it on the edge, but I didn't focus in it. The tapping on my chest now, I was tapping on my forehead with my right hand. Hello. Cosmic Heru is in you, in me, it's true. To the extent your energy meridians are blockaged, you will have to rely upon faith. And then it's hard to stay interested in things like magic, because if it's just a psychological head trip for you. I guess that can be interesting, like watching movies or reading books was for me when I was a young man and a child. I still do those things some, but the lessons I've had through my hermit ordeals Gemini 9 answers to the Capricorn below through the wizard Mercury, out of bounds in the South Seas, already in Capricorn and even further south than the sun ever goes. My Mercury was more easily visible in the tropics and the South Seas than it was in the Northwest where I was born. Capricorn, Saturn. And then Capricorn answers to the Cancerian Saturn on the 0 point, which is one of the screwball support beams of the tropical zodiac, which essentially is a sort of map of Earth's energy field. The tropical zodiac is how Earth and how the people on Earth, this is the houses. What are the houses? The houses in any astrology chart that's geocentric are the Earth. That's why there's no houses in a heliocentric chart. Can you build a house on the sun? Maybe if you're a fire dragon. Those magnetic swirls and sunspots are kind of like houses, but they don't last very long. Not even in Earth years. Years? Days, maybe weeks for a sunspot. Sun is dynamic, like a popping, fizzing fire. In Chinese medicine, the heart is recognized as yin fire, and that it certainly is. It's called yin because the heart and the lungs are yin. The spleen is yin. The liver is yin. The kidneys are yin, and they all start on the foots. And then the ones that start up here all end on the foots. The yin comes from kidney, bottom of foot, liver and spleen both on either side of the big toes, nail bed. Qigong. Yeah. Where the mind goes, where the attention goes, the energy follows. This is the essence of Qigong. Thus, I'm demonstrating skills that partake of vignettes of lessons I had in previous decades. And this is my Chiron return, which is the synthesis of my hermit powers. If you've made it this far, again, you've got some of the skills that I'm demonstrating, the stillness of mind to leave spaces for things other than words. Centered on the heart, it's already been 32 minutes and ongoing. It's easier to leave spaces between my words when heart and belly are involved in the conversation. These are disciplines that things we call Christianity tend to leave out, and by design. When the age was Aries on the front, Rome was the thing happening. The Han Dynasty over on the other side of Eurasia. But then it started to change, where Aquarius is on the 11 when Aries is the 1. The 11 is social. It's out in the open. In the sky view, it's the place in the sky where things rising become easy to see. Stuff in the 12 tends to be obscured unless you're on a mountain or a wide field or parking lot or something on top of a building. Things in the 12 are hard to see, and on most places in Earth where there are ground objects. Well, on Earth, on the land. I suppose even times on the ocean, places in the ocean, the waves are tall enough that it obscures lots of the sky when you're in the trough. You'd have to ask the sailors. Just turn on a camera and jam. It's what I've got for now. Mercury is in fiery Aries and going retrograde near Venus for the whole trip. How about that? Neptune is on the very last degree of Pisces, and it's about time, I says. The music of the Piscean Neptune has been the dumbest and least satisfying musics that have happened since music started being recorded. And that includes, for me, the music that was recorded on sheets and notebooks and castle walls and tombs and whatnot. What is music? Music is cosmic geometry. To the extent that you're merely a technician following the source code from an external device, well, you're out of sync with being in the groove, in the flow, in the band. The musics of old that still, I mean, I hear, like, in coffee shops and grocery stores and things, I hear all the current stuff. And then when something from the 20th century comes on, whoa, the sound of humans playing together without robot interference. Hot diggity, this rocks! I mean, David Bowie, Let's Dance. Neptune was in Capricorn. There was still more appreciation for music that requires excellence and discipline. King Crimson's Discipline. Oh, in fact, that was... Neptune entered Capricorn in about 1984. That's when it started getting super corporate. Remember Live Aid? Did that money even go to any needy people in Africa? I don't think it did. That was a big grift. And it was a push toward the techno Aquarius that I think that techno atheism, I think that's like, y'all are still just Christian heretics. You're still keeping your Roman torture cube installed. Come on, chuck that shit. In the Norse legends, Tyr, the Fenris wolf, the stupid Aesir were afraid of the wolf. Fenrir had never harmed man or god or dwarf or elf. Fenrir only hunted his appropriate prey. The elk, the deer, the aurochs. But the Aesir demanded that Tyr put a poison rope around his neck that caused him great agony. It wasn't any grudge from Fenrir. Tyr was Fenrir Wolf's human. Well, we could say in the Magi temple that Fenrir was the holy guardian angel of Tyr, or Tyr is the holy guardian angel of Fenrir. Which is which? It depends on who you ask. It was only after that ferocious, fiendish leash was placed around his neck that he got mean and terrifying to humans and gods. It was the pain that caused him to bite off Tyr's left hand. Or was it his right? It depends on who you ask. All of these written tales, the way I'm telling it, probably pissed some people off. This whole thing about arguing about the words. Shut up! Aquarius isn't in the 12th house timeout anymore. It's well established. Look at all the technology we've created. But we're still a baby with it. And we still have the savage boxes of Muggleville. There's so many vicious muggles in the world because Constantine and his goons threw out all the how-to manuals. Faith isn't enough. Any psycho, any sociopath can walk into a church and play the role. Come on. Romantic religion is a business, not a spiritual keeper. Anything spiritual they have, they stole, mostly from Egypt. That goes for Greeks, too. Egypt, the belly brain of the European head trip. Or maybe Egypt is the heart chakra. Africa, the western head brain. North Africa, Mediterranean, the heart. Europe, the cold cap of the northern temple. I grew up with a chained Fenrir. I could not trust my body to play a guitar, a bass guitar, or sing in tune without really controlling it. With my head, all the yang meridians eclipsing the yin meridians. When I started with these things, I only had one pair. I started with them in the 90s, and my hands were jammed up. I had to work with them for a while. I think this was the first direction. This is the easiest direction for the thumb to throw them into the fingers. When the fingers throw them at the thumb, well, then it opens up the dropping angle. This direction is harder to train because the thumb throws the ball towards the edge, and it's harder for the smallest finger, which is the heart. The heart meridian starts and ends on the tip of the little finger. That's yin fire. Yang fire is the small intestine. And they call it San Jiao, the triple burner. And look at this. Yang metal, yin metal. It's also the sheen of the Hebrew alphabet that I am acquainted with through the Western mystery tradition. Not so mysterious anymore. Like with heart math, doing their scientific measurements where they discovered not just the reality of the heart's energy field, but studied the methods of inducing what they call coherence. And what do you know but it's foundation. And if you map the hermetic tree of life on the human body, inside the human body, this is what you're doing with rituals like the middle pillar. Keter is the crown. Bai Hui translates into English as something like 100 meetings. This is above the core channel. This is where we take in heaven chi. It can be challenging the more satellites there are. But the fact is that the cosmic energy is the real thing, and our chi system can differentiate the real thing from the facsimiles. The human kung fu temple, let's call it. Trustworthy creature. I'm not super controlling this. If I was, I couldn't improvise and conversationally talk. In the human kung fu temple, the stuff that moderns, baby Aquarius, super Saturn, not quite yet to the Mercury deacon. Well, passing as the ages do backwards through the tropical zodiac, the 12 emerges into the 1, and well, the salient fact of this human kung fu temple I intended to communicate at the beginning of this part of the talk is 80-20. 80-20, did I say that already? Mercury is backwards and Neptune is vicious on the 29th degree of Pisces. Mars in Cancer. Detriment. What are these things? Emotions. Soldiers don't deal with emotions. Mountain goats don't deal with emotions. You've got to, when you're hiking up a mountain or bombing down a mountain, say on a bicycle, when I'm going super fast, I start to pull my brakes on a downhill. I noticed with a radar display once on a downhill, around 20 miles an hour, actually anything above 15 miles an hour. This is Capricorn. My mind is centered and simple. It's my clattering swords are completely involved in smoothly conducting the bicycle at high speed and not crashing. It's like that playing difficult music on any instrument, but I especially dig the drum kit. Drum kit is a really satisfying challenge for me at this time in my life. It's part of the synthesis of my holistic human temple disciplines. The pressure of the machine at this time in the human story. Let it serve to tune us into the value of the human, unaugmented. Tiger bones, they calls it, in the Chinese martial arts. It's a side effect of, the side effect. Pump your belly. Your belly is the primary blood pump in your body, not your heart. The heart is the seat, the throne of your individual consciousness. The heart's field, heart math is found, extends, at least in a healthy person, at least as far as our arms extended, which don't fit in my savage tent. Saturn is my top planet and retrograde. My Saturn is ruler of my Aquarius and Capricorn things. There's the Hermit. I mean, fuck. And there's Kung Fu. Saturn is your Kung Fu teacher. My Mars is in Taurus, but my higher wisdom has gradually led me to a smooth and reliable strength where I don't have super washboard abs because my muscles are smoothly connected. I'm not isolating. If I were to isolate things, then my heart would not be able to conduct this kind of thing. And that's a lot of yin, and then I spin sticks in my fingers, and what do you know, but they roll over the top of my fingers, where the yin side of the finger flicks it, and then they roll over the yang side. And I always feel, whoa, the zing of, let's call it bioenergy, if we can translate the Qi, Jing, Shen, Prana, Baraka, Ruach, translated into plain English. I think we can call it, well, the human step-down frequencies of the cosmic energy that flows along the channels of the cosmic geometry that's beyond human intelligence completely. This is shown in the tree of life of the Hermetics. Above the abyss is 1, 2, 3, and the 1 is, well, the 1 sprouts the 2 and the 3 from its awareness that it's no longer the infinite, unlimited we can't even talk about it. We can only, any words I can speak about Ein Sof, Ein Sof Ar, no thing without limit, nothing without limit. What Ein Sof, limitlessness. Now it's a noun. Ein Sof Ar, limitless light. Oh, we're getting to something that can be perceived, but not talked about. The swords. Once the sword gets to the ace, it's an antenna for cosmic vibrations. The sword works best with the heart center, controlling the whole show, and connected through the priestess to the ace. That feels good. Hello, Governor. See what I mean? Trustworthy hands. Which is a benefit of those balls, having opened up the yin side of my hands, wherein training my fingers to do this didn't take very long. This direction is more difficult for the... Okay, I noticed why. Oh, it's because the yang is... The yang comes from this. Instead of the fingers grabbing like that, they're flicking like that. And the flicking makes it easier to drop them. This direction, you're doing more flicking. And this direction feels like more grabbing. Like this crawls more over the sides of my fingers, not as much of the back, where this is very distinctly more over the back of the fingers, probably because of the angle. When you're going from the smallest to the tallest and then down to the forefinger and the thumb, it's a different trek than... And with the balls, this is the easier direction. This is the direction where the thumb throws it. Oh wait, no, it's different. It's opposite, because this is the yang side. In the direction this way, where the thumb throws it towards the edge, it's the direction... Wait, no. Wait. This is confusing. Yeah, because it's going this way. So that would be, if the thumb participated, it's throwing it that way. But if we're going this way, it's like there's more of the next finger having to move itself out of the way. Because of I can definitely still go faster in the easier direction. I was more distinctly right-handed to begin with. I think probably because I think humans are naturally ambidextrous, but if a child shows any aptitude with right hand dexterity, Christian dumb down muggles tend to just assume the child is right-handed. Here's an hour. If you've made it this far, thank you for following. I'm still getting my groove with making videos. Comments welcome, friendly suggestions. If snark is intelligent, I may not delete it. If snark is just dumb shit snarkery, delete you. Libra rising in me with Pluto and Vesta and Uranus. Cafe Cedarbeard, those who don't follow the ethics are expelled, expunged, and dismissed. Okay? I'm busking for my lunch. Tips appreciated. Thank you. Cafe Cedarbeard is shut